Hi, I'm Alyssa. I am 26 years old. I'm the owner of a health and fitness business called Natural Motion Health, along with my husband, located in Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. I am currently 33 weeks pregnant, and this is the start of my vlog. So I've been meaning to do this for quite a long time. I don't know if fears have been what's been stopping me. I've been making excuses about being way too busy and whatever else. Now that I am reducing what I'm doing at work, I have lots of time and no more excuses. So we're gonna get it started. So bear with me as I overcome some of these fears and talk to you guys. And I'm gonna share things in a way that I've never really shared them before. So I'm excited to kind of get started. So for this first episode here today, I'm going to share a little bit about myself and my history, how I got to where I am. And then from there going forward, I'm going to share quite a bit about my pregnancy and how things have gone from the start up until now, and then eventually move into other topics. And just kind of expand on all sorts of things that resonate with me and how I want to live and share my life. So to start, I'll give you guys a little bit of background about me. My main job is a fascial stretch therapist. So that's a table-based assisted stretching technique. That works with your breath so that you can achieve a more profound stretching technique. It helps people with injuries, pain, rehabilitation, range of motion, all sorts of things like that. It's very, very rewarding, and I quite enjoy doing that. I also teach fitness classes and workshops to help people improve their overall health and wellness. And so that's kind of my kind of main gig now in a nutshell. I'm kind of moving a little bit more to a managerial type role now that I'm a little bit less hands-on, because my belly doesn't really allow me to do quite as much as I could before. So this whole fitness adventure all kind of started about 6 years ago when I had a car accident. So I was driving on my way back to London on my way home from my then boyfriend, now husband's place, back to university in London, and I was on my phone and I crossed the center line and got taken out head on by a Jeep. And so I had several injuries. I broke every bone on the left side of my face except for my lower jaw. I fractured my left femur, punctured a lung, broke some ribs, and that was along with some other soft tissue injuries and things like that. So I had 2 weeks in the hospital in London, and then I underwent several surgeries to fix my leg, reconstruct my face. And so over the 3 years after that, I had about 9 surgeries to deal with all of that. And so that's kind of what kickstarted everything into the path that I am on now. So prior to that, I was in school at Western for kinesiology. I had always been fascinated with the body and how it all worked, and so I knew I was going to do something in the health and fitness field. I wasn't exactly sure what. My family was all very medical, and I knew I would do something like that, but more on the exercise kind of side of things. So I thought I was going to go to chiropractic college or physiotherapy school or something like that, and that was my plan. My car accident happened the summer before my 4th year of university, so that kind of shifted my grad school plans because I had to change what I was going to do because I had to take a semester off school. I had to move home and be under 24-hour nursing care because I had my jaw wired shut, and so I couldn't be by myself, and I needed to rehabilitate myself so that I could get back to normal. So I'm a little bit inpatient, and without my first semester of fourth year, that would have to delay my applications for grad school, because that's the marks that you need to be able to do that. So I was like, okay, well, we'll scrap that plan and I'll find something else that I can do. If I don't like it, I'll revisit grad school in another year or so. And so I started an apprenticeship in pedorthics while I was still in school, actually. And so I was working on making orthotics for people's feet. Um, and so it was neat. I got to use my skills as far as human kinetics and human movement and everything goes, everything that I had learned in school, which was great. Um, However, it didn't, after a little while, it didn't really jive with me. It didn't light me up. Um, and after I had recovered from my car accident, I only took a semester off, so that was about 4 months of physio and rehabilitation. I went back to school and started everything up pretty much normally again. My now husband, Gary, moved in with me pretty much in my apartment in London to kind of help make sure that everything was going okay and smoothly as I kind of got back into life after my accident. So then, yeah, I started that apprenticeship. And once I figured out it wasn't really for me, that following summer of 2014. And so that August, I started a job at a gym. After going through my rehabilitation and getting myself back on my feet after my car accident, I knew that I could offer more to people. I could help them overcome their challenges. And I had always kind of entertained the idea of personal training in the past while I was in school, because I had that knowledge and that passion for physical activity, but I never really got around to it. So now was kind of a good time to move into it and give it a shot. So I worked at a gym for about 8 months or so, and then I found that it was definitely a good experience, and I loved helping people. I just felt somewhat limited to the things that I could offer and the way that I could do things. So I kind of thought I could do things a little bit differently, to be able to offer more in my own way, on my own. So while I was there, I actually did experience fascial stretch therapy, as I mentioned before. That's the main thing that I do now. I experienced that while I was at that gym by another trainer, and I was amazed at what it could do for me, especially after all my injuries and all the tightness and soft tissue injuries and everything that I had had. I knew that I was like, okay, this is something that I want to do. After I had felt it, I was like, this is amazing. Like, everybody should be having this done. And kind of, I was like, wow, like, this could be a model on its own. And so my wheels kind of started turning, and I knew that that was eventually the path that I was going to go. So in the spring of 2015, I left that gym and started running boot camps and personal training sessions on my own, out of my home and other people's homes. So that's kind of where all the fitness stuff started. And then later that year, after Gary and I got married and things kind of settled down a little bit, I went and got certified in fascial stretch therapy. And so after that, I rented an office in another local gym here in Woodstock and started the fascial stretch therapy career. And with that, I was pretty busy at first. I had come up with a pretty good model to help get people interested and excited, so that I was busy with clients pretty much right off the hop, probably working a little bit too much. I was doing between like 8 and 12 hours of stretching a day, depending on the day, being kind of afraid with a new business to say no to anybody. So I just took on everything that I could get. And from there, about 8 months or so later, I wanted to offer a little bit more to people as far as workshops and classes and fitness and everything that kind of tied in with the fascial stretch therapy. So the following summer, I rented a space of my own that had a little bit of a studio space so that we could do personal training and classes. And that same summer is when my husband Gary quit his full-time job and came on part-time, to help me, and was also splitting his time on the family farm. So when we did that, things really started to grow because he could take on some of the things that I wasn't so good at and didn't like to do as much, as far as the back end, the marketing and all of that kind of stuff, website, etc. I was okay with social media, and I was really good at interacting with people, but as far as the business side of things goes, I need some what you call finishers around me to help get some stuff done, because I've got lots of ideas and things that I want to do, but I may not complete all of the tasks that I set out to. So that brought us to basically both working in the business and knowing that eventually we were both going to be full time, doing that. When we moved into that new facility, we brought on another instructor, Sarah, and she started to do some personal training and classes as well, with the intention to go get certified in fascial stretch therapy as well, so that we could start to help more clients, because I was getting far too busy on my own, and spending a lot of time just trying to fit everybody in. So then, about a year after that, we moved into the current location that I'm sitting in right now. That was much, much larger, with two different stretch rooms, two different treatment rooms, and a much larger space for classes in the back. So that's how I got to where I am now. Fascial stretch therapy and the classes are the main things that we offer here, and we're constantly growing our team and have been making some transitions as we prepare to welcome our first child here. So we're going to need a little bit more help around here. So we've recently hired some new faces and are kind of ready to transition into a little bit more of a managerial, a little bit more hands-off kind of role, as we learn to let go of a little bit of control and let some other people come in and help us. So we're very excited to see how things move forward with that, and we can't wait to see where we can go from here. So yeah, that's kind of our story so far. And now in my next episode, I'm going to be talking all about my pregnancy and how things have gone for us so far. It's been quite the journey. It's been just over 7 months here now for us, and we've got less than 2 months to go. So it's all very exciting, and I'll get a little bit more into that in the next episode.